Welcome to another tutorial from Drew at Pulse Multimedia. I'll give you a heads up, guys. This one will be the first part of many to come. This tutorial will outline how we can create a Flash application that will access the Flickr API to do a photo search and bring back results into the application for the user. So it's completely dynamic using ActionScript 3. It uses the Flickr API, as I said, and pass in and out photos from XML results back into the application for viewing by the user. We're going to supply some information about each of those photos, such as who owns it, any comments that are made on it, things like that that Flickr uses. So if you're not sure of any of those terms, don't worry. I'll explain it all as we go along. This will be a very detailed introduction for how to get ActionScript 3 working to create live applications. It can be extended further to Facebook and Twitter. I might also put up a video on how to use a Flash application to post remotely onto a Facebook wall, something like that. To begin with, though, I'll show you a basic introduction to how to set up the stage, show you some basic ActionScript 3 for event handling and button presses, and later on we'll move into how to dynamically access Flickr. But first of all, what we're going to be doing is creating this. So, photo browser. As you see on the screen there, we have a search function which is input text. You can type in anything you like. It will search the tags from Flickr. At the moment, we're not up to that stage. I'll be showing you some more basic things, but in the later parts of the tutorial, I'll show you how to use this. A couple of buttons on the stage. Click in photos will take you to a larger version of it, and just some very basic graphics. So you see there, you can click each thumbnail picture and it will take you to a larger version of it. Well, let's begin. I need you first of all to open Flash CS5 if you're not using CS5, whatever version you're using, but create a new ActionScript 3 document. Press OK. When you get to that document, we're going to go and change the stage color to black and leave it at 24 frames per second. In this tutorial, we'll be using frame scripts instead of as opposed to an external ActionScript file. But later on, we'll migrate these frame scripts into an external ActionScript file. So first of all, what you want to do is draw on the stage for me some text. So enter a text field, first frame, and we're going to call it photo browser. Underneath it, write by your name. And leave that somewhere towards the middle of the stage. Oops. I've chosen white for my colour, but you can do whatever you like. Next you want to create a new layer and call it buttons. So I'll create the layer and buttons. On the very first frame for the buttons, grab your rectangle tool and draw a rectangle. Grab the text tool again and type in continue. I'm going to change that color to white as well. Now, position the continue somewhere near the middle of the button. Hold down Shift and select the blue box that I've drawn around it as well. Right click on those and convert it to a symbol. Now, because we're using ActionScript 3, we can leave these as a movie clip or turn it into a button. Either works. For this instance, we'll use it as a button because we're not going to have any other effects happening there. So let's call it continue_btn. Now, if you don't see this area pop down, you can just click on the advanced arrow and it will jump it up and down. In this stage, we don't need to export it for ActionScript because we're using it in frame scripts. Not an external ActionScript file, so we'll just press OK. I've already created that one, so I'll just delete it and show you where we're up to. So once you've created it on your first frame, go and insert a keyframe at 10 frames and position everything on the stage as you'd like it to appear. Go back to your first frame and drag everything off. So you can see there I have the text fly in and then the continue button appears. After you've positioned those, so off the frame originally and then onto the frame, go into the middle of it, right click and create a classic tween. You'll get this light blue shading come up on top of the frames and an arrow showing you that it's successful. If you see that the arrow is broken or dotted, it may be that there is an error with your tween. This can happen if you're tweening two things in at the one time, but they are on the same layer. So if the photo browser text and the my name text was on the same layer and you try and tween it at the same time, but they're different text fields, you might get that dotted line. If that's the case, just separate it onto two lines, call one title, one author, and you'll be able to motion tween it in. Once you've done that, click on the 10th frame, right click on it and click Actions. Now, here you'll see some ActionScript 3 code in. So first of all, we have a stop function to stop the playhead, getting some control over the movie clip like I showed you how to do in the simple Flash website introduction using ActionScript 2. So this takes it to the next level. In ActionScript 3, as I've explained previously, you cannot place any event handlers and functions straight into a symbol. So you'll see if I click that continue button and try to type into here, it won't let me. It says in ActionScript 3, code cannot be placed directly on objects. It must be in frames or code snippets in an external ActionScript file. So click back on the frame and you'll see the code. What we want to do is type in stop, semicolon, press enter. Now the next line of code that you see here, this is called an event handler, an event listener, sorry. So an event listener basically tells Flash, tells the stage to listen for this specific event to occur. It will ignore any other events that aren't listed, so it's just listening for this one. Continue_btn.add event listener bracket MouseEvent.CLICK continuePressed. So what this does is says that continue_button, which we have given the instance name here, continue in the properties, type continue_button. You can name it whatever you like, but I've used continue_button. So my code will reflect that. So continue_button, the instance name of the symbol that we're talking about, dot add event listener. Now, you put this in and then you pass in parameters inside these brackets for what you want the listener to be looking out for. So we've got mouse event, it must be typed like this, otherwise Flash won't handle it. So we've got MouseEvent.CLICK. It's listening for a mouse event of click type. So when you click that button, it will jump to a certain point. Now, the event handler on its own isn't enough. We've given it a function name. So MouseEvent.CLICK, continuePressed. This is a function name. It almost constructs a function, points to a function. You can name that again whatever you like. So you could call it something completely irrelevant, and as long as you name your function below the same name that you've used